next. Nigeria's biggest airline, Air Peace, is fighting back, demanding a full government investigation into Tuesday's violent union picketing, which the airline says caused them over 2 billion naira in financial losses and left thousands of passengers stranded. Now, speaking at a press conference in Lagos on Wednesday, Air Peace Chief Operating Officer Oluwatoyin Olajide slammed the unions, saying that their action violated a subsisting federal high court judgment from April of 2024, which declared it unlawful for unions to coerce Air Peace employees into membership against their will. Let's watch.
Gentlemen of the press, fellow Nigerians, and the world at large, what happened yesterday was a flagrant disrespect and disregard of extant laws and the subsisting judgment of the Federal High Court of Nigeria obtained on the 26th day of April 2024 by the staff and employees of Air Peace against the Nigerian Labour Congress, the NLC, the Trade Union Congress, the TUC, NUATE, the Inspector General of Police, and all other unions. The judgment declared that it is unlawful and unconstitutional for this union to threaten the employees of Air Peace through coercion of their employers, Air Peace Limited, whether directly or indirectly, including through their officers, servants, agents, privies, or any other third party, or however, to seek to impose membership of the union upon the employees against their will. I have here with me the set judgments that I just read out. That was obtained by the employee of Air Peace, April 2024. And I have the extract of the judgment here. If you looked at this judgment, you can see here, this happened on Friday, the 26th day of April, 2024, before His Lordship, the Honorable Justice Akintayo Aluko, Judge. The court also granted an order of perpetual injunction against the unions restraining from harassing the employees of Air Peace by any means at their places of work or any other place, and to refrain from causing or instigating any breach of the peace likely to occasion harm to the staff and employer of any threats to their lives and property of Air Peace. The court also ordered the police to ensure compliance with this judgment throughout the Federation. We must state clearly that these appalling disruptive activities of the union members simply violated ICAO and NCAS security regulations. In simple terms, it's an act of unlawful interference, and it is punishable under the extant aviation regulations. Our position is therefore unequivocal. Our employees have the constitutional right to choose. Our passengers have the constitutional right to travel. And Air Peace has the right to operate without unlawful interference. We therefore call on the federal government, the security agencies, the airport authorities, and aviation regulators to please conduct a thorough and independent investigation into yesterday's unacceptable events.
Now, Olajide also revealed that a female Air Peace employee was left bleeding and bruised after being physically assaulted by union members, warning that those involved could face restrictions on flying or arrests abroad, and that airports are sensitive national assets where this kind of violence must never happen with impunity. But the question remains, if a federal high court judgment from 2024 already restrains unions from harassing Air Peace staff and 98% of Nigerian airlines have no unions, why was only one airline targeted with violence that violated both the Constitution and a court order? Now, the federal government, the NCAA, airport authorities, and security agencies have all been called to investigate this incident, and it has to be done urgently. Nigeria's aviation industry is way too important to allow this to become a precedent. And Dr. Abati, I'll come to you on this story, as I also say good morning and welcome back to the morning show. Missed you, but good to have you back.
Thank you.
Ayo, good morning. Good to see you as always, and Rufai, always good to see you. Dr. Abati, I mean,
two issues here put up by the protesters who disrupted the operations of Air Peace. first 5% ticket sales tax, which they claim that Airpeace was not paying. And the position of Airpeace is that the man in charge of, I think it's NACA, right? Has already made that's Captain Najomo. NCAA. I'm trying to refer to Captain Najomo. Had already said the various airlines involved have been complying with the directives given by the NCAA. However, the question from Airpeace is that why is it that it's only Airpeace that is being targeted when even the relevant authority has made it clear that there's no infraction in that regard, that they have compliance? That's the first question. The second question has to be the disruptors of the operation now saying that staff of Airpeace are not being allowed to join the union. In this case, NUATE, the National Union of Air Transport Employees, NUATE. And the Airpeace defense is now strictly a question of law. That on 26 April 2024, this same matter had been determined by the Court of Justice Aluko, Federal High Court, Lagos Judicial Division. Now, the matter was filed by two staff of Airpeace, Ugoji and Udaya. Those are the names, yeah. Okay, that's it on the screen. And they were the applicants on behalf of themselves and other employees of Airpeace. And then, of course, the respondents were NUATE, the Nigerian Labour Congress, and also the Inspector General of Police. And the Honorable Justice Aluko, looked at this within the purview of fundamental rights enforcement. Mm-hmm. And it is the right of every individual to have the freedom of association, freedom of assembly, Section 40. And that if you were to look at the law, there's nothing that talks about compulsion. If it is a freedom of association, then you have the right to associate freely. The learned justice quoted Okoro for case and also quoted the Trade Union Act to say that there can be no compulsion. And on the basis of that, found in favor of the applicants and awarded damages of 200,000 naira at that time against the respondents. Mm-hmm. So the third issue is that Airpeace has a court judgment in its favor. So what can Airpeace do where the other party has refused to obey the court of law, where there is no evidence that matter is on appeal or that there is any pending appeal? So it will mean that the applicants, in this case NUATE, decided to disobey the law. Right. So Airpeace should go back to the court and charge those parties for contempt, because it's contempt of law, and insist on the enforcement of the fundamental human rights of the persons. But I think the issue here is about consent, about willing decision, about the fact that you cannot compel people to join an association. Right. That is what should be tested further in the court of law. And this is without prejudice. Right. That workers are entitled to collective bargaining. Yes. That they are, entitled to joining a union of their choice. But what the basic point is that this cannot be compulsory. Exactly. The other leg of it is what international rules state. Right. The basic thing in aviation is safety. When you disrupt the operation of an airline, you raise safety issues. Yes. And, apart from that, Airpeace says they've lost 2 billion naira. Which is so significant. But also think in terms of the agony that passengers and customers suffered. Exactly. And then there was assault involved. The affected persons can also sue for assault. Exactly. Asking for unionism does not extend to your to you taking the law into your hands and assaulting innocent people who are just doing a basic day's work. Right, exactly. Thank you, Doctor. I mean, there's so many layers to the story. I don't know, Ayo, if you have maybe a quick 20-second comment since you were here when the story first broke yesterday. Just, your thoughts on this.
Airpeace has come out with an official position and stated the facts and showed the documents that we're able to display on screen, and we expect a response from the NCAA, yesterday I talked about the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, because we cannot continue to see a targeting of a particular airline. And I still say that we cannot affect private business owners in Nigeria in such an embarrassingly obvious way where others are watching. And so I hope that we'll get to the bottom of this. And because let me tell you something, not only did they lose business yesterday, they would have to also refund from those people who had to take alternative modes of transportation. So that's a double loss for them. So I hope that, this will be fully addressed, and I cannot even say for compensation.
Absolutely.
But let us prevent things like this from happening again.
Very good points. I mean, these are Nigerian businesses that we're talking about at the end of the day. But from business, let's now shift to politics, with reactions trailing the African Democratic Congress revealing new reports of a plan to arrest its national secretary, Rauf Aregbesola, before Saturday's election in Osun State. Now, the revelation initially came in an ex-post from the party's publicity secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, who later spoke about this development on Arise Primetime. Let's watch.
APC government is denying the people the opportunity to choose. Just before I came here, I received an intel that they are planning to arrest Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola before the Saturday election. I mean, who does that? And we say the country is not at war, it's just an election, one election. But it appears they are determined to prove a point that the president is historically from.
Well, I don't have any evidence to support what you're saying. So we'll have to watch and see what happens.
We will have to watch and see. And, the APC hasn't publicly responded to these claims, but people online had some thoughts, as always. And I'll take one from Boye, who says, Aregbesola needs attention because it's only two parties that are really relevant in this Osun State election. The others are just following the two. And by the two, he means the governor, Adeleke, and the APC candidate Ambo. Then you have Zoro, who says ADC says it has credible reports of a plan to arrest Aregbesola before Saturday's election. Whether or not it happens, the fact that this warning had to be issued at all tells you where Nigerian democracy currently sits. Sad. And let's follow that thread of the state of democracy and our institutions with the Nigerian musician and activist Femi Kuti speaking out in a new interview this week, calling what he describes as a lack of credible characters in the highest echelons of government. Let's watch.
You think Tinubu is a problem? Initially, that didn't stop him from getting there in the first place. It's a problem. That if all what they are saying is true, how did he contest? If we had men and women of caliber and integrity, he would have been able to contest in the first place. Obasanjo put EFCC to arrest all the corrupt people. One of the first people EFCC arrested was his daughter, Iyabo. Then Ribadu was removed, or he even ran away because I think they were after his life. So they removed him from head of EFCC. This same Ribadu is now Tinubu's security personnel. So you see, it's the same people. They go to the same parties. They go to the same weddings. They hug themselves. They do everything together. A young boy of 15 that has this history, or 20, when you see what is going on, where is your belief in the system?
Now, that clip in particular has generated a plethora of reactions, but what stands out here, Rufai, is the way in which Kuti is essentially describing government as a closed inner circle where the institutions and the people that should hold leaders accountable are the very same ones protecting them, and it all exists in this ecosystem that just keeps reproducing itself.
But it's true, no? And that's what we deal with. The same person that calls somebody names in the last election cycle, that say all sorts of things about that person, is speaking and defending that person today. That's the system. The same person that say I have dossier on this person is working for the other person today. That's the system. Like I was saying this morning, you see, Annie, if you say something that is very insightful, it depends on the party you are and where you are as when you're saying it. I mean, look at Mr. Jingal. He's saying it where they were APC people. I mean, they were APC governors in that meeting when he said it now.
Yes, that's in
and they didn't challenge. So as long as they were there, They accepted what he said. They might not come out openly to say they accept. In fact, some have even said we reject it too. But when he was saying it there, why didn't he say haram, 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 stop it? No. And guess what? The man has doubled down. I said it again that he's not going to apologize. After calling people all sorts of names. Do you know how many people have called him at the back and say, Jinga, don't worry, what you said is good, but we don't condemn you in public. Dr. Abati, you were there now. In the debate when Adeleke said, after the APC governors that come to criticize him in the state, when they finish, they will call him at the back and say, it's politics, so it's politics. Don't mind me. Did he say it? He said most of them, after they leave, and they say, oh, Adeleke is bad, is this, is that, is this, hey, he has destroyed the state. He said they will not call him at the back and say, my brother, it's politics, I hope you understand. He said, we will not laugh about it. And they are saying these things at the expense of Nigerians. Nigerians are the most. But you see, what Femi Kuti said, you know what hurts me the most? It's not what Femi Kuti said, though. It's the fact that his father sang about these things. The son, too, is singing about it and talking about it today. It's become transgenerational. When Fela was singing about corruption, are these not all the things that were happening?
Right.
Daddy boy, do you get your accident? Archbishop na miliki, Pope na enjoyment, Imam na gbalad. Is that what's not happening today? Is Archbishop not miliki? Is Pope not enjoyment?
Sorrow, blood, and tears.
Sorrow, blood. Then
Suffering
bring sorrow,
and
blood, and tears. Then regular trade, 49 sitting, 99 standing, suffering and smiling. Then go reach your police, go stop suffering. Suffer forward, amen. Enjoy for heaven, amen.
Amen. Spiritum my venue.
Archbishop na miliki, Pope na enjoyment, Imam na gbaladu. Archbishop the enjoy. Exactly what is still happening today.
Right.
Anani, congratulations on your forthcoming wedding, my dear.
Oh, thank you.
The sad reality is that your children will still talk about these things we are talking about.
No, that's why
that's
we're speaking today.
That's
why we're speaking today. With the hope that our children will not have to. We're speaking so that our children will not have to speak about the same.
I will remind you when my lovely Lemuela and Lemuela, when they become 10 and 15 and they start being politically aware and they say, Mommy, something is wrong, corruption is wrong, I will remind you.
We have spoken about it.
Don't worry,
We
it's
are
just
building
around
a
the
greater
corner.
Nigeria.
That's it.
Who promised us for their tomorrow? We are giving our today. I'm yet to see that tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm still searching for that.
We'll see.
As a different generation.
Exactly.
We are
That's not the
building a
hope.
greater Nigeria.
Hopefully, these things aren't generational, even though it appears to be that way thus far. Now, later today, National Security Advisor Nuari Badu, along with other senior officials, will meet with U.S. officials in Washington, D.C. to specifically talk about both countries' bilateral defense against terrorism. Now, the announcement of this meeting and this trip was announced on Wednesday with pictures showing the larger team, which includes the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu, Defense Minister Christopher Musa, and more. They're expected to talk counterterrorism, review Nigeria's progress when it comes to fighting terrorism, and figuring out the next steps for both countries. And as Nigeria and America discuss their counterterrorism strategy, let's head to Sokoto State, where in a new video, a man candidly reveals how he somehow managed to survive being shot 5 times by terrorists. In the same community, a pregnant woman also gives her own anecdote of how she had to give birth while running from attackers. Let's take a look.
Zauna da nake yi kawai sai bacciyar rinjaye. To da bacciyar rinjaye ne kawai ina kwance ko da na halka sai ga banga kowa ba kawai mutanen da nake gani. Kawai hijin ɗaya hake da ana ta halbi. Na so ina gani sai ɗaya daga cikin su sai ya ce min sai yake ce ma ɗan uwansu kakka shiga wurin nan. Kakka shiga wurin ina ciki. To da na ji ya ce ka shiga wurin nan lokacin da ya ce ka shiga wurin nan kawai ni ko sai hit. Hitar da nake yi kawai sai son ka biyo ni da bindiga a talbi ana talbi. Allah madaukakin sarki ya tsare ni. Ina isa wani wuri kawai sai na ji dai har na wanke da jini. In harbi akalla 5. Nawa ya same ka? Duk. Kaga yanzu ga wannan. Ga wannan. Ga wannan.
Muna ganin gwani ko ni da ni hito halci ni hito bisa hanya na haihu
Now, I'll come to you on this story because you have these meetings, but you're still having these attacks. The stories are harrowing, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. So what's different about these meetings, do you think, with the U.S., this particular one?
So it's subjective, to say it doesn't seem to be getting any better, because on the other side, the Tinubu administration have released fact sheets around some of the gains from these collaborations, from these interventions. We know that it was based on the counterterrorism that we had that agreement with the United States where they came in and some of the top leaders of these terrorist organizations, I believe the second in command was killed. And so that was one win. The other part was the raid, the Christmas Day raid in Sokoto State, where they were said to have killed some principal members of Boko Haram. We also know of rescue missions that have been successful thus far. So we have to come to the understanding that terrorism is not going to be extinct or defeated in a day, a week, or a month. What the Nigerian people want to see, though, is that we are making advancement and they are recording successes in these areas. Only earlier this morning, they talked about other operations of Hadin Kai and some of these terrorists surrendering, and of course this is based on the fact that they see that they don't have any other choice and that the Nigerian government or the Nigerian military is winning this fight. I do believe that these kinds of collaborations should continue, but the Nigerian leg should take the lead on this. Yes. It is our problem. Nobody's coming to Nigeria to solve our problems for us. And so we have to, collaborating with the United States and any other partner, we've collaborated even with our Sahelian state partners when it comes to joint task forces and so joint operations. And so it's important that we continue to support the military in their efforts to tackle, to defeat terrorism. Absolutely. It's not a day's job, it's not a week's job, it's not a month's job. But what the Nigerian people want to see is consistent progress, and that we will see in a year's time considerable efforts made in the defeat of terrorism. Definitely. So I think that's an important thing. So the collaboration should continue. We saw the benefits earlier, and let's see what more we can get from the next level of collaborations.
Absolutely, it remains to be seen. But if anything, it still shows that the U.S. is still open to these conversations with the Nigerian government. Now, from insecurity, let's